Welcome back. In the last step, we were able to create a virtual machine and we were able to SSH into it. Let's quickly look at some of the important concepts that are related to Azure virtual machines. The first important concept is that of an image. Image helps you to choose the right operating system and the software for your virtual machine. What is the image that we used earlier? Right click on the virtual machines and open it in new tab. So I have the first tab where we have the My Virtual Machine, and the second tab where we are now exploring the virtual machines. And now over here, let's do an add virtual machine. Where did we choose the image? The image is what we chose in here. There are a wide variety of operating systems which are present in here. If you want to run Red Hat Linux, this is the image you'd want to make use of. If you want to run, let's say, Windows Server, you can scroll down and choose the specific version that you'd want to make use of. If you want to run Windows 10, then you can go ahead and choose Windows 10 as well. So the image is the one which decides what operating system is used on the virtual machine. The second important concept is that of a virtual machine family. What is a virtual machine family? There might be different kinds of applications that you would want to run on your virtual machine. You might have a general purpose web application, or you might be using the virtual machine as a cache. If you are using virtual machine as a cache, you need a lot of memory. In that kind of situation, you'd want to make use of memory optimized instances. You might be running a high performance compute workload. In those kind of situations, you'd want to make use of a HPC. You might be running a graphics application on your VM. In those kind of situations, you might want to choose a GPU based hardware. So a VM family is the thing that helps us to choose the right family of hardware for your specific application that we want to run on the virtual machine. So if you go in here and scroll down a little, over here when we chose the size, if you click see all sizes, this is where you can see the family. You can see that the one which you are making use of, B1S, is general purpose. If you select one of these and if you start scrolling down, you should be able to see other types. So you can see that the D series is recommended for general purpose workloads. There is a B series, there is an A series which is recommended for development or test workloads. There is also E series, and if you expand E series, you can see that this is memory optimized. So these are recommended for high memory workloads. And within the same family, there are different sizes. Let's expand the B series, and you'd see that there are different B series sizes which are present in here. There is B1S, that is the one which we are making use of right now. You have B2S, you have B2MS, B1LS, B1MS. You can see that each one of these have different number of vCPUs and RAM. And each of these can have different number of data disks that can be attached with them. So a VM size helps you to choose the right quantity of hardware. I would want to use 2 vCPUs and 4 GB of memory. How do I get that? I can choose the right VM size. So the operating system, image. The hardware, you would choose the right VM family, and within the family, you would choose the right VM size. To your virtual machines, you can also attach virtual disks. This is very, very similar to attaching a hard disk to your laptop or computer. Where is the disk that is attached to our virtual machine? Let's search for that. Search for disks. And go over to disks. You can see that there is a disk which is created. So my first VM, whenever I'm creating a virtual machine, by default, it needs to be able to run an operating system. And the operating system runs from a boot disk. And this is the boot disk which is attached by default with our virtual machine. You can see that the default size for this is 30 GB. Now, how can you configure this? How can you add more disks when you create a virtual machine? Let's go back to virtual machines. Let's go back to add virtual machine and go to disks. This is where you can actually choose the size of the default disk. And if you want, you can add new data disks. So this is the boot disk which is needed to run your operating system. And this is where you can configure additional data disks that you would want to attach with your virtual machine. So to your virtual machine, you can easily attach disks as well. In this step, we looked at 4 very, very important concepts that you need to know about virtual machines. One is what is the operating system, that is image. What is the hardware? That's a combination of VM family and VM size. And how do you attach virtual disks with your virtual machines? That is by configuring disks. I'm sure you're having a wonderful time, and I'll see you in the next step.